Knock me off. Hold up.
We are live right now, it says.
Okay, that's a bit. Gonna play the intro music then. I gotta put the screen share up there. Mm-hmm. Can y'all see the screen?
No screen shares up.
Okay. Says I'm sharing the screen. Okay. TD, man. Technical difficulties, man. I don't know if this shit been happening because I've been having too many windows open at one time or what, because my Wi-Fi is working fine. It works fine for everything else. It don't drop off or nothing else.
I'll play something until you figure that out, because I do got something in here.
Please.
Oh, oh, oh. Mm. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. In a dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword to slice you, or whatever device you recommend. Surgical precise pen, hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, them goons gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm the box you in. Got a pair of red dimes in the box you in. Don't matter paradigms, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we're stopping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down or lay down when we stomping. This the clash of the titans. This the clash of the titans.
Was brought to you by Laurel Burns of Naga, aka Anu Kakarot. He's got a debate coming up October 11th against Cosmon Cal of Creator Gang. It's one you're not going to want to miss, folks. It's one you're not going to want to miss. You can share that screen anytime, Immanwel, if you get it.
Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down. Yeah. Woo. What? Woo. Yo. Woo. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping.
Did you figure it out?
Nah, for some reason it's not loading for me right now, bro. And like I said, I don't know what's going on with my Chromebook because my Wi-Fi is working perfectly fine. That's how I'm talking to you on my phone right now.
Okay, let me finish this song and then we about to go in.
This the clash of the titans. In the dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword will slice ya, or whatever the fight you recommend. Surgical, precise pin, hand get heated, the room will spin. If man get treated, then booms gon' spin. Level heads with feet, paradigm to box you in. Got a paradigms in the box you in, make a paradigm shift, your clock won't spin. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Flesh your bands in his office. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Yeah. Woo. What? Woo. Yo. Woo. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the clash of the titans. Hear the sounds of the trumpets. Start the rounds in the gauntlet. Get down and lay down when we stomping. It's the clash of the titans. In the dimension where infinity gauntlet is a mere toy compared to the intellectual prowess, build and destroy the cipher. Intellectual sword will slice ya, or whatever the fight you recommend. Surgical, precise pin, hand.
Yo, yo, yo. Okay, we got King David and we got Immanwel here in the building. Sorry about the technical difficulties out there. Let me go ahead and share this link. I had to go ahead and try to see. I don't know how to screen share on the phone. So we're just going to go ahead and get into this. You gentlemen want to introduce yourself to the platform? We can start with you, Immanwel. I'll go ahead, King David. You first.
King Dave right here, man. You know, new to this, true to this. About to see what's up.
Immanwel.
All praises, man. I'm here. I say first and foremost, and I'm nothing without the Most High. I always give all praises to the Most High, man. I try and stick to sources when it comes to a formal platform. I don't mind anything or any questions or discussion outside of source. I just know that some judges may hold source material a little more authoritative. So that's kind of where I lean towards. And I guess, initially I was reached out to possibly have a discussion about whether or not the earth is round or flat. And I always take the negative to one in the position of a round earth, not necessarily taking the position of a flat paper Earth, and when people say flat Earth, um, I'm more so under the impression that we don't have a perfect observation of what we would be able to consider the shape of the Earth, but we do have, I guess, ancient source material that could kind of give us idea or ideology of what was the thought or idea before the round Earth came, because there was a thought and idea or a time before a such thing as a spherical Earth. Is fairly new in theory, so that's more so the basis of my understanding of choosing to take the negative towards a spherical Earth. Is more so the lack thereof proof, as well as the modernness of the doctrine. And yeah,
When you
that's
say
that's
modern, or when you when you say modern or fairly new, what do you mean by that? Like what do you believe? How new do you believe this belief of a round Earth is?
um
Is that really loud for you, gentlemen?
no, nothing's loud for me. I would say maybe ancient Greek, from my understanding, maybe Pythagoras. I don't know
So
of
you
anything.
say
Oh, I don't know of anything older than Pythagoras. If you have something, please guide me there.
so.
Or
What's
you anyway, guide me there.
so you saying AD, not BC?
Correct.
Okay. There's there is evidence that it was discovered in 250 BC that the Earth was round. You know.
Yeah, and like I say, that's that would be a critical source, or what would be considered a hole in my argument, uh, moving forward. So I would tell you to stand in that strong point for sure. If you have that, I'm not sure how strong of a source it is, but I would I would definitely say you have a point there. If you can go back that far and kind of have something to go along with it, then you got some basis.
Yes, of course, of course.
Because what you saying BC, uh, and not BCE, the source you would be referring to would possibly be some type of religious source, or be or come from some ideology of a church. And if so, then I still would feel like I have some favor in understanding of the Bible and biblical sources and evidence of the understanding of what's more so of a flat plateau, being what the Bible describes on multiple occasions. So I would be interested in seeing that source moving forward, because, like I said, a lot of my understanding is going to be founded in everyday observation and prophetic description.
Mm.
And I say that with the Tanakh being older than majority of any source of trying to figure out a shape of the earth.
His name was I have a hard time pronouncing his name, man. Uh, Arado Arados of Cyrene.
You
Have,
familiar,
Uh, are you
have you
talking
heard of him?
about,
Immanwel?
is it Aristides or something like that? I believe I
Arostastes. He used geometry to figure out that the Earth was round by using the angles that the shadows cast by the sun.
Mm, I believe you're referring to BCE, and um, I also believe that's after Pythagoras. I believe I'm familiar with what source you're referring to, and like I say, I'm not digging into it at all. But if I'm not mistaken, it is after Pythagoras. I think I remember seeing that name uh, doing my like research in the past couple days. I think I did see that name. But like I say, even then, if you're not talking about BC and you're referring to BCE, then that's still gonna.
So what? See, I'm not getting the difference between BC and BCE. You're gonna have to school me on that.
Okay.
Immanwel.
Yeah. So when you talk about sourcing documents, the common era or BC, the common era, 400 BCE or I guess like 400 BC could be the same, but putting the E on there in itself, I guess, is what I would uh, tell you the difference is in my understanding. So there was a
So
reason
what's
that
the
the
significance of
E
the
was
E?
on there.
So
It
what's the
came later.
significance of the E?
It came later
So is it a
because
different time or just the
no,
E was
but that
added on there?
no, it's not a different time, but putting that E on there, like I said previously, would give you an understanding of if it came from a religious understanding. You see what I'm saying? Because if something came from a religious understanding, sometimes you might still see BC used to refer to the source. You see what I'm saying? Versus if you
So
see
so
BCE,
so
you,
so you're
you
saying so are you saying that the source is not as good because it's not because from a religious
no, no,
understanding?
no, 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 not at all. By far, I'm not saying that. I don't give a
So if it's the
religion.
same time period, if it's the same time period, right? And that's what they're talking about, the same time period. BC, BCE is just a addition of a letter. There's not really a difference in the reference, is it?
Yeah, so I guess if you remember what the fashion or the tone that I was referring to those differences, uh, it was gonna give it was gonna help my personal opinion if that makes sense. Like that was gonna be uh, that was going to change the difference of how I receive things, whether or not this source is based from a religious standpoint. You get what I'm saying? That's why I said because where I'm going to be, pushing my position from being biblical and physical observation,
Okay.
biblical
And
prophecy and physical observation.
and I'm coming from scientific and physical observation. That's what I'm going to be coming from.
Right. So the different in my understanding would have been, I guess, whether or not this person's understanding could have been divine, or whether or not this is like you say, something we need to look into of possibilities of how someone is calling their self measuring physical earth by being able to physically see vividly some type of casting of shadows, which you know what I'm saying. I'm not knocking anything by far. I'm just shedding light on the difference of my understanding of how we could view something like the earth, knowing that clearly we're not responsible for the creation of it or the origin of it. So this would have to be something that's constantly observed. And we do have multiple occasions of ancient source documents, even before religion becomes a thing, of divine knowledge. Do you believe in divine knowledge? Even before religion becomes a thing. Can you hear me, King David?
Yes, what you saying? Do I believe in divine knowledge?
Yes.
Um, are you asking me as far as like religion is concerned? Where do I stand?
No. I'm asking, do you believe in divine knowledge? Do you believe there was ever a time in ancient history where people got knowledge from anything other than themselves?
Yes.
Okay, that's the position I'm coming from, is that these biblical references come from divine knowledge versus someone saying that they did some math could have easily been possibly to fulfill a doctrine. I'm using that as a reference, that it could have simply been
See, but I,
as
I
easy.
differ. I differ. I believe that the people that was given the divine knowledge were scientists, were using science. That's what I believe.
Okay, I can I can agree with that. I can respect that. I don't see that being nonsensical at all. But like I say, I would more so combine it with something. So I don't I don't combine the understanding of the spherical Earth with my everyday observations, as well uh, as other prophetic teachings, as well as things like teachings from NASA. I don't combine all of those and find them all to be sensical unless I eliminate shape to a certain extent.
You eliminate what again?
Shape. And when I say
Shit.
shape, I mean trying to put an absolute on it.
Well, I mean, the Earth is round like. It's like a geode. They call it a geode. It's not perfectly round. But I don't understand where this debate, what we're gonna be debating, really. Like, because it seems like you're not, you don't got a stance, a solid stance on the Earth being round or flat. So what position are you taking?
I would take a negative in the lack of proof there is that the Earth is round versus the immense amount of proof that I guess goes against that. Not even necessarily putting us on a complete flat piece of paper. Like I say, just kind of goes against the round Earth theory of Pythagoras, and in modern times NASA. And I guess if you can include the source that you're referring to as well, but I would look into Pythagoras versus whatever source you're talking about and look into the difference, because like I say,
That's interesting.
if I'm referring to Pythagoras, I wouldn't want you thinking that, or I wouldn't want to be referring to Pythagoras, and there's a huge difference in between that theory and the theory that you're referring to. But as far as I'm researched on, Pythagoras came up with the same theory from the same way. He was using mathematics and using the understanding of geometry and measuring casting of shadows and things like that.
So how do you feel about the theory of gravity and I mean the theory of relativity and the laws of gravity? Do you believe in gravity
Um,
or do you believe it's something else?
Emmanuel, can you put that flyer on the screen?
Y-
Can you?
Let me see. I don't want to sound. Yeah, I believe in gravity because I don't want to sound. I don't want to be too petty or try and be too technical. Yeah, I believe in gravity
I
because
would
I.
like to know your I would like to know your true thoughts, man.
Yeah, I got you. So, all right, to elaborate, I believe in gravity to. I believe in gravity, but I
Okay.
believe that alongside that, I can still say that the understanding that they try and give of uh, the geo shaped Earth or the round Earth for the sake of the general audience, I believe it still goes against that. A lot of what they try and perceive is a lot of contradictions still there, even with the gravity coming from the same understanding or the same mathematics. I'm trying to put that on the screen right now, everyone. And then just by the way too, this is a perfect time for anybody else that's a participant in the tournament to get to see, how things are gonna flow. And as far as I know, I don't think we're bound to a specific topic or argument. So, if you want to question me in some other areas, feel free because I'm always up for, the sake of content and edification for sure. Like I
Yeah.
don't we ain't gotta be stuck or hell bent on one topic at all.
So do you believe in extraterrestrials, UFOs, or UAPs or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that fit in your religious your I guess your
I
I don't know if I would say religious, your spiritual journey, because I'm not sure if it is or not.
I would call myself religious just out of zeal. Um I don't believe that every culture or heritage that you follow was initially uh, originated to be a religion. I think some people's heritage was meant for them, and some people's heritage was based off of welcoming others. So, as far as being religious, shout out 3BY, shout out to the Barbarians, shout out to Titans Debate Den, shout out to King David. Shout out to the Paradigm Shift. And shout out to the Ops. Y'all know who y'all are. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, I believe in so many words that the Bible references a lot of, I guess, what people call extraterrestrial or unidentified. And we've been so modernized, brainwashed, and indoctrinated that we don't even understand what we're looking at. So when you understand things like the hand of the Lord and seraphim and cherubim and angels and serpents and jinn and what different type of napash are, uh, yeah, it gets deep. So I dialogue with a few brothers on a regular that definitely have an understanding of extraterrestrial activity being recorded in the Bible for sure. Just
Right.
quick reference, something like the Book of Ezekiel. So I definitely don't believe that we're the only intelligence walking around this joint. Notice I said walking around because I mean, like me and A1 was saying the other day, man, it's a lot of stuff that has consciousness and intelligence that we don't give the reverence to that we should. But at the end of the day, we some of the highest intelligence walking around. So with us being some of the highest intelligence, we should know that it didn't stop at us, or it doesn't stop at us, rather.
Yeah, or even beings that we can't see because we only see in I mean, a certain a spectrum of light. There's probably stuff that's out there that we can
Mm-hmm.
see. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I kind of got the same sentiment as far as the Bible is that as you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It was more that it was actual being extraterrestrials that was doing a lot of this stuff. What do you think about the when in the Bible it speaks of the divine council?
Um, that's a good question, man. Hey, that's one of my expertise, man. That's a good question. Uh, a few years ago, I started to understand the Hebrew and understand Hebraic expression. Um, my understanding of having revelations of who the Messiah was actually being the manifestation of the God of the Old Testament, who some call Yahweh, who some call Jehovah, who I personally reference as the Tetragrammaton will be pronounced or enunciated Yahweh. Um, I believe Christ was the manifestation of that, and I believe He came to let us know that He wasn't letting us know that because He was our Lord or the God or judge of us, that He was the end all be all. He was letting us know that He was the beginning of creation as well as the one who could bring the end to it. But He also has a Father that transcends flesh or is transcended of flesh. Um, and that's a place that we would have to get to, which is outside of our flesh. So that would be two spirits, one being the Father, one being the Spirit of Yahweh, who manifests and let us know that He was the Son of something, as well as also a Holy Spirit, that's considered or referenced the Comforter in the Scripture, which is what people would say, I guess, what gives you an epiphany or gives you understanding and wisdom and the ability to understand something that you literally didn't understand 5 minutes ago by what someone would say or call, I guess, a spark or a light bulb. I know it's happening to anybody that's watching as well as everybody on the panel. Something as simple as, uh, and a lot of people can give credit to themselves and the power of oneself for certain things like this. And this is where I personally say I use spiritual discernment to say that's arrogant if we give ourselves all the credit for fixing every mistake that uh, we didn't even have the knowledge to fix or prevail through in the first place. So I feel like there's definitely a higher power that you know can interact with our daily walk. I won't necessarily, or I'm not under the impression that there's a quote unquote sky daddy, like people say, that's holding our feet and reaching down and spanking us when we do wrong. That's not my understanding of God, nor my understanding of the Father, nor my understanding of the Spirit. I think every one of us has a spirit. I think there were three spirits that were in ancient times in the beginning of the creation of what we call earth, as well as certain lights that we see in the sky, as well as human beings. And those three spirits are the ones who we would refer to in the Bible, or for the sake of general audience, what Christianity would refer to as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't agree with the understanding that Christianity has of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I'm solely just using those as the three names that get referenced or um, given to these three spirits: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's my understanding of the divine counsel.
See, like my understanding of the divine council is that they were other beings. They were other gods, so called. And then there was just the Most High, Elohim, and then there was Elohims. They call it. You know what I mean? They were all called Elohim. That's my understanding of it. It was multiple over multiple regions of the globe, and they taught the human stuff that they wasn't supposed to teach them, and then then the Most High punished them for it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I got from it.
Okay, so where do you get the Most High punishing the Elohim?
Shoot, what is
Are you referring to the sons of God?
it? Yeah, it was in I forget the verse I was reading, man, about it. I gotta look it up. But
So there, so the only.
they also had meetings.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
guess I've had debates on this actually. The only discrepancy that I have with the understanding there is that that comes from Christianity, in a Hebraic understanding. Israel was always referred to as the sons of God, and when you go further back, it's always the line that Israel came from. Hence, in the time of Job, it's referring to a time of offering as well, which is why it says his children. I guess it says something to the effect of celebrated their own day, so they didn't go up and celebrate with the rest of the Israelites, and that's why they were punished. So my understanding is that the chosen seed was always referred to as the sons of God, as Adam was referred to as the son of God. Nor do I share the understanding that the sons of God were the Elohim um, in any other time of the Bible, because the Elohim that are referred to, even if you are, going to say that the divine council in Genesis is, I guess, multiple gods, I won't necessarily say that I'm putting an absolute number on it. I'm not that arrogant, but what I will say is the understanding of who rules over the chosen seed would consist of at least three, with the Spirit, which is the Holy Spirit, Yahweh, which is a spirit that manifested into flesh, and he told us that he has a father and told us that he is a spirit that we must worship in spirit as well as in truth.
Let me ask you this, man. Do you believe the Bible is in order?
In order? What do you mean? Sequential?
Yeah.
No, no, it's not.
Okay, I was just asking.
Yeah, no, I know that it's not.
So I'm about to find the verse. The verse in the. Just give me a second. 'Cause I'm pulling over.
Hmm. And it also, to make that conflation is kind of saying that the book literally goes from calling uh the Elohim God to calling them the Son of God within a few chapters.
All right. Okay. So
And
let's
Adam
let's
is
let.
called the Son of God in between those chapters.
All right. So let's talk about. They're not talking about the Son of God or nothing like that. They're talking about in Psalms 82 describes God presiding over a divine council of gods who are judged for their unjust rule over the weak and fatherless. I'm gonna bring the verse up.
Hmm.
Let me go to my Bible. Okay, here it is. Verse 1. God has taken place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. How long will you judge
What you say you
unjustly?
read not?
This is Psalms 82. Uh, the, what you mean? What version? You asking what version of I'm reading?
No. You can read whatever version you want. I was just
Okay.
asking what you read, making sure you
Verse
were reading the Bible anyway.
verse 1. God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Verse 3. Give justice to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Rescue the weak and needy and deliver them from the hand of the wicked. They have neither knowledge nor understanding. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, you are gods, and they use in the lowercase g as well. I say you are gods, sons of the Most High, all of you. Nevertheless, like men, you shall die. All like any prince. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit it in all the nations. But but they weren't talking to humans.
You're right. Are you familiar with who the children of the spirit and the children of the flesh are?
Is that something that's not in the Bible?
No, it's in the Bible.
Where- Because why if they were referring to or humans, right? Or the Most High was referring to people. Why would they say like men you shall die? You know what I'm saying? There's other verses as well.
My bad. Go to Romans 9 and 8. What was your question that you just asked?
I was saying if they were referring to men, why would they? If they were referring to men, why would they say like men you shall die?
Oh, I might answer your question. Uh, right here. When you start Romans 9 verse 6, it says, "Not as though the word of God hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which say they are Israel, or are of Israel." Let me just be clear according to the
What
text.
was that again? What was that verse again?
Romans 9 verse 6. It says, "Not as though the word of God hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel." So I'm and it's a few more verses that I'm about to read, but I'm starting here because this is let you know that one of the people that's being referred to is about to be uh one of this is about to be one of the people that's referred to. That's why I'm starting here. So then you go to the next verse and it says, "Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called." So are you under the impression that Adam was the son of God?
No,
Adam wasn't the son of God.
no.
Okay, let's go to Luke.
Hold. Hey, y'all give me a beat real quick. Hold on.
Right. My phone only acts slow when it don't need to. It's Luke 3:38. I believe.
I think he said he needed a second. You want to try that video again?
Yeah. Let me try it. But yeah, this is it's funny because like when I put certain notes together and stuff, and I can't for some reason this shit is tripping. I can't even get to my full slide right now.
All
But
right, we was talking about Luke. First, I'll read it.
3:38. This is I just was asking you according to your understanding of the Bible, was Adam the son of God, and not only is he God's first creation in Genesis, um, and referred to as my son, also in Luke 3, it clearly it sets the record straight when given the lineage of Jesus Christ in the flesh. It says, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. So there's an explicit verse, if you are along with the text, not any doctrine that goes along with the text, but just what the text says, it explicitly is calling Adam the son of God. So I also went there just to go back to Romans 9, where it's explicitly referring to Israel and talking about the seed of Abraham going through Israel. The seed of Abraham goes all the way back to Adam, which is a spiritual seed. The seed of the serpent or anything opposing would have been considered flesh or man. So the flesh or the man outside of the sons of God, which were the chosen seed, is the difference between the sons of God and an average man, which is why he said, "Ye shall die like men."
Okay, but I understand what you're coming from. But in the verse that I was pointing out, it doesn't say the sons of God. It just says you are gods. You know what I'm saying? He's presiding over gods. You know what I'm saying? Not the son of God. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So, are you saying that we were never referred to as gods, or he never made us gods as
I'm
human?
saying I'm I'm saying that the divine council were spiritual beings. They weren't human.
Okay. So let's give some biblical reference. My bad. I'm flowing along in my Bible right now, trying to find you the exact verse.
All right, check this one out. All right, this is a prophet. I think it's Micah. Spelled Micaia.
Okay. So just to if you could hold your wisdom, I don't mean to cut it off. If you could memorize that wisdom, we referencing Psalm 82:6 to prove that those are men and not what's being quote unquote referred to as the divine council. When you go to John 10 and 34,
Hmm.
uh, let's start at 31 for context. It says,
John 10.
yeah, John 10, we can start at 31 for context because it says, then the Jews took up stones to stone him. These are all men right here that's in this context.
Hmm.
Jesus answered them, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me? The Jews answered him, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, because thou being a man makest thou thyself God. Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods? If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken, say ye of him whom the Father hath sanctified and sent into the world, thou blasphemest, because I say I am the Son of God. So this is Christ literally telling the Jews that they were referred to in the scriptures as gods. And that's what I was just, pretty much telling you beforehand, that my understanding is that the sons of God, when referred to in the scriptures, are the ones that he verbatim called his sons. And when it talks about appearing before the Lord and the sons of God appearing before the Lord in the scriptures, it's always talking about for sacrificial reasons and offering.
Mm. Okay. So basically, he was talking to people.
Correct. Because what's referred to in the Psalms is majority of the times going back to David or Torah. And this 82 and 6, if I'm not mistaken, is dead referring to the Torah in the time of the adaptation of Levi for the priesthood, as well as Israel being considered his firstborn son. um, Israelites, all encompassing all 12 nations, supposed to being a nation of kings and priests, would be judges. Judges is one of the definitions for Elohim as well, which is what's referred to when we are being called gods, as well as the scripture in, I believe, Exodus or Numbers, when he verbatim says to Moses, I have made you a god. He's saying these things as in we are judges, just like he in Psalms refers and say, do ye not know ye shall judge angels? So there's when I said I have a Hebraic understanding, this is kind of what I was alluding to. I don't always get caught up on the word God. I like to look into the context and see what kind of which definition or understanding could have been referred to just because the word Elohim is used there. And it's, on a few occasions where it's used for people, and definitely from the chosen seed as sons of God.
I definitely gave me some perspective.
Yeah, I only even, you know, am humble enough to say it. I'm only even under the impression that I am because I had to be baptized out of otherwise thinking that everything had to be so divine and supernatural that was referred to in the scriptures. And anytime I was taken away from that, feeling like I was taken away from the Lord. Like sometimes, you're gonna go through that on a journey, but as long as you consistent, you fast and pray, I believe the scriptures are truly revealed to who they're supposed to be revealed to, because I've gone through trials with multiple people that have observed the same exact thing as me. Not saying that because we share an understanding that is true, but more so like let's all read something that we don't understand. Let's fast and pray on it, and then let's come back to it and see what we got. And then, through the spirit, a few brothers come to the same conclusion. It's like, okay, we're not tripping. We're not just going off of our own understanding. Something is trying to bring us to one accord. That's the kind of things as well I was referring to when I was asking about divine knowledge. I believe that the fact that we have spirits gives us the ability to connect with each other in a certain fashion that's still unfathomable to some people. And some people will even grasp that and feel like they have a connection with people. And then, what I always refer to as the arrogance of us humans kicked in for some reason, and you can't feel like you have a connection with a higher power just because you can't see it. But you've been told on so many other occasions in ancient times that people were dealing with higher powers. Some that were dealing with higher powers that they could see that told them, "Hey, we're about to leave. We're not coming back. Fucking with y'all no more. Y'all are tripping." So it's plenty references that we can use to show, in my opinion, that even if you don't want to give a reverence to the God of the Bible being your God, that there's multiple higher powers, and it's all about which one you understand is who. You know what I'm saying? Because some people may have an understanding that the God of the Bible is not their God, and if you don't feel that conviction, then he may not be. You may be one of the people that he's referring to in the scriptures for his people that say it's people that are fit for wrath. They're strictly suit for destruction and wrath and wickedness. It's just what they're gonna do, and I'm not gonna kill them because of that. It's just everybody's gonna die, but now you don't get to live with me because that's not what I want in my house. So I'm not one of the people that's under the impression that the God of the Bible is killing all other nations because they're wicked, or whatever.
Yeah, it's not. So, what observations give you pause around Earth?
Um, 35,000 foot altitudes on so many different occasions over several, about at least three bodies of water. Um, and just it's an abundance. The highest hill on certain islands, uh, being able to see island from island in certain places. I don't know if you've ever been to places like the Gulf of Mexico or Jamaica, something like that, like Puerto Rico. You go to some of the highest hills, and you can definitely see other islands as well as uh, the understanding of sea level. That that gets to me a lot sometimes with the spherical or round earthers. I try not to be too passionate about it. The only thing that strikes me with that conversation is my personal opinion on the lack of common sense we use and give credit to the sources that were given to us in a time we know we were given lies. And that's not to say that the earth ain't round. It could be. I just feel like there's an abundance of evidence that's lacked if it is. So I don't think anybody can genuinely attest to seeing curvature at the rate that we should when looking anywhere out of sea or like I said, higher altitudes. I can't see that. I see too many of the opposite, especially in modern times. Like it's an abundance of videos from flights and from sea level that's, you know, on the opposing side of NASA, like, hey, y'all feeding us some bullshit. If it is curving, it's not curving at the rate that y'all say it's supposed to. So what's going on? As well as why you gotta lie to me and say you landed on the moon and took pictures, so you know the Earth is round.
So
You
you
see
don't
what I'm
believe
saying?
you don't believe they landed on the moon either.
Uh, who are you referring to? Neil Armstrong? If you're referring to Neil Armstrong, hell no, I don't think anybody does.
I'm talking
That's
about to the Apollo missions, period, all of them, because he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, but as far as what's recorded, you know, it's a lot of stuff that's supposedly documented, but as far as what's recorded on the moon, most videos, what is it? It's like two or three that's supposedly on the moon, right? All I know is the Neil Armstrong and the rover one. That's for sure is uh utter bullshit in my opinion. I hate to use that term if you know you're under the impression that that was authentic, but I think there's multiple videos out as well as some of the passengers that have come out since then to say, no, it was a total hoax. We were there to get paid. We had a job to do. Um, so much so that it's even been brought up.
I had to push back on that, man. I haven't. I've been looking into this, man. I haven't seen any passenger that said that they was out there to get paid or anything like that, man. You
Uh,
might be looking at clips that folks got chopped up, but then if you go into looking at the whole videos, they hours long, and the dude is saying something totally different than what they chopped them up to say. And as far as the 35,000, you can't see the curvature from that. You got to be like at least 70, 75,000 feet up to see the curvature of the Earth. And the rate
how
of the
do you know?
curvature
Do you know
that
how many?
they that the
Do you
rate of the curvature that they're
know?
referring to.
Mm,
Hold on, let me finish my point real quick. Real quick.
my bad. My bad.
The rate of the curvature that they're referring to is not telling you that you're going to be able to see it. It's just telling you that you can measure it. The Earth is huge. You can't really see the curvature from definitely not from 35,000 feet.
Okay, so you kind of lost me a little bit. You said we won't be able to see it, but we would be able to measure it. Are you
Yes.
familiar with I'm trying to see. Are you familiar with the smallest scale that distance is measured on?
Yeah. Well, I'm not familiar with like I'm familiar with my hand or math and stuff like that, but I understand what you mean.
Right. So
Talking about
can
yeah.
you give me any increment of your understanding of the smallest even if you want to go as small as decimal that is a measurement but we can't see it? Like, can you give me any type of example of a measurement that's there but we can't see it?
Well, I see where you're trying to go, but you're talking about something at a small scale. When you're talking about like the Earth, which is like 26,000 miles around, and we're on it, it's like a if you're a piece of bacteria on a basketball, you have no idea of of the scale, or you can't measure. You don't know where you are on it. You know what I'm saying? It's huge compared to a human. So, a measurement of a millimeter or what a decimeter or even or smaller hexameter or however you want to go back down is not the same as measuring you standing on the earth as a piece of or a piece of or as you being a piece of bacteria on a basketball. And you can't measure that with with uh with measurements. You have to get it to actually see what's going on. I mean, like weather balloons. There's weather balloons sent up. You know, what I mean, you could do that. There's experiments that you can do personally to see the curvature.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so from my understanding, this isn't anything that uh, I was just about to talk about or low key brag about being a scholar, and then I just said again. I say and way too much to consider myself a scholar, but
So does Barack Obama.
I know I'm not. I know I'm not a fucking dummy though. Even when I call myself a dummy, it's 9 times out of 10 because I'm around a dummy, so I gotta be humble. But my theory is that you don't see them using the opposing illustration. And when I say opposing illustration, I mean you don't see them using something like a basketball and then putting a speck on there the size of what we should be, and then giving relative distance of where the curvature should start, because then it'll be a dead giveaway of what I'm saying versus what you're saying. If the curvature is supposed to be like 10 inches per mile or something like that, there's no there's no way that that's something that you wouldn't be able to see. When you talk about 10 inches per mile, that's a small decimal of what a mile is, because it's only let's see, it's about between 12 and 1400 feet in a mile, something like that, right? You know how many feet is in a mile, right? I'm trying to do some quick math.
5,280 feet, right?
Right. Okay. So 5,280 feet in a mile. If it's 5,280 feet in a mile,
I think it drops 8 inches per mile.
okay, forgive me, but I'm not sure if that's. I'm not sure
It's
if
it's
that's
it's,
big
it's
enough.
a it's a whole formula that they got for it. I think it comes down to like 8 inches per mile,
Okay.
something like that.
So even then, let's say 8 inches per mile, you got 63,000 you got 63,360 inches in a mile. So if you can see, a percentage of these inches, then that means, or not even a percentage of these inches. I don't want to break it down like that. Let's just break it down in fractions. So a quarter of a mile. A quarter of a mile would be 15,840 inches. That's way more of a grasp for us to try and picture we can see, right?
That we can
Because
really
you're
tell with our eyes, our naked eyes.
right. So that breaks down to more like uh I guess the 2,600 feet range. Every Not everybody, most people with standard vision can look out and see 2,600 feet. Correct.
Yes.
So if I'm looking out and seeing 300, 2,600 feet, then that means I should be able to see a few inches in curvature. With this
You think
being
you'll be able
said,
to? I mean, you think you'll be able to tell a few inches of curvature from
I'm trying to draw I'm trying to
I'm just
draw.
wondering.
I got you. I'm gonna answer that question in just a second. I'm trying to draw a reverse illustration and give you why I don't feel like they give this illustration. All we would have to do in the relative example that I just gave is be able to lay down somewhere that's supposed to be as close to plateau as possible, flat, and we should be able to literally see curvature at some point. I'm using that illustration to say they won't put it on any a small ball and give us that illustration, because then we'll understand how we should be able to see curvature on something like what's supposed to be sea level.
Well,
Because
Neil deGrasse Tyson has done something similar to that on a like one of those school globes.
yeah,
He was
uh-huh.
he was just saying how the guy who like the space station how where it's at compared to the globe, and just to give you a idea how the size of and compared to us, right?
Hmm.
Like he said, remember the guy that hopped out the Red Bull guy that dived, who was like 100 and some thousand feet.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Hmm.
He said that like he put laid 2 dimes on top of the globe, and he said that's about how far he was above the Earth. You know, the
Oh,
space
what
station.
you saying? You saying? Wait. You saying he stacked 2 dimes in thickness to show how high that guy was in altitude?
Yes,
Da, 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 da.
he said that would be the scale of it on that size,
Um,
on the globe that size, and that's probably about the size of a basketball.
yeah, I'm trying to think of how that could kind of relate to elaborate, like keep going, because I'm not
Like
necessarily saying that I disagree with that. I don't think
what
altitude.
I'm saying is
Mhm.
I'm just saying that to state how small, like, that look to us, that looks very far. You know what I'm saying? That looked like he was outer space, like he was falling for a long time, right? But
Mhm.
in a relative to us, from us to the Earth, is the thickness of 2 dimes stacked on top of each other. So me personally, I don't believe that we would see the curvature laying on the Earth from a mile, a half a mile, or whatever, and that would be what, 4 inches of curvature. We wouldn't be
Yes.
able to see that with a naked eye.
Yeah. Okay. So look, when I used us laying down flat, I used us laying down flat for us to get an understanding of the kind of POV a ship on sea level should have. So equate us laying down flat on the flattest plateau we can find that has a clear shot of I guess what, like 63,000 inches, 64,000 inches or whatever. You would clearly be able to see the curvature at uh what, every so many inches within that mile. So if I can see,
Only if you had an eye to look at. If it was just straight.
yeah, it's been done. It's been done. It's multiple videos that are taken from sea level that send ships out, and literally the ship goes until the the lens of the camera can't zoom in anymore.
Mhm.
So if I can still see the on sea level thousands of feet, or several miles out with no curvature, then that's where the problem comes in.
But the thing is that all of those videos, and I've seen them. The bottom of the ship is not visible
You said
because
the bottom
as
of
the
the ship is not
yeah,
visible.
if you look at them, the bottoms of the ships are invisible, and then sometimes they have to go up higher to see it, because that's also a thing where you can go up higher and you can see further over the curvature, but even that disappears. It all disappears from the bottom up
Right. So
because the curvature is because it's going behind the curvature. Even when you see those buildings or those
so
islands from
I
far away, you don't see the bottom. The bottom how you would see it if you was closer because it's behind the curvature.
I I need you to realize that what you saying is debunking the round earth, because if the earth was curving, that means the front of the ship would be tilting down as it goes out into,
Why
aka
would it be
down the curving.
why would it be tilting down?
Think about it. If something is going out from sea level going down into curvature,
So you
that
think that
means the front
you have
that
to.
means the front will be going down. So that means if that was the case, then it would be the other way around. You would stop seeing the top slowly and you would see the back and the bottom.
That's not how it works, man. You the Earth is not like we're going over a cliff. In their perspective, they're still on the lane, going straight. It's just what we see
That's what I'm
because we're
saying. But
far. We're they're not
so
they're not on their
if it was
on
a
the
it
ship
was
when
if it
they're
was
on
a
the ship.
car if it was a car on the ground, I
Mm.
would get what you're saying. But we're talking about something that's considered level. You see what I'm saying? So at sea level, we're seeing flat wherever we are, no matter what. That's what sea level is. So once it starts to curve, we're only gonna see one way. We're only gonna see the curvature one way.
Man, it doesn't work like that, bro. It's very subtle. They don't see like if you, they're on the boat. They're not going to see the curvature. As far as they know, they're just rolling straight. They're rolling away from us behind the curvature. It's not like they're going down on a waterfall or something. You know what I'm saying?
So what type of curvature are you saying? If it's not that type of curvature, what other type of curvature is it?
You would have to have you would have to have like a 8 degree 9 degree uh curvature dip for it to for them to be pushing nose down like that, like coming down a mountain. You know what I mean? Again, the Earth is huge. The curvature is
Yeah,
slight.
yeah. Okay. And so
You
I'm
know what I'm
not
saying?
yeah, yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's going to I'm not saying that it's going to drop down. I'm not saying that the ship as you see it,
Yeah.
you're going to see it going down as if from sea level to the amount of curvature that you should be able to see with the naked eye, that it's going to be completely unseen. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, at the rate of curvature that is supposed to be said, if two objects are at sea level and one is the illustration of a ship that we're given, you're not going to see the top of the ship as it curves. So the fact that you're saying on the videos that you're seeing that you still see the top of the ship, you don't see the bottom of the ship, that's not supporting what you're saying,
Well, that is
because you
supported
wouldn't see.
because the curvature is not from the top. It's going behind the curvature, and the ship, the bottom of the ship it goes first because the curvature is coming from the bottom up, not from the top
Yeah,
down. I don't know what you're
yeah,
talking.
yeah. So that would almost be like
If it
the
was
the way
flat,
that the
if it
way
was
that a
flat,
ship
hold on. If it was flat, it would just get smaller and smaller and smaller. You would see the whole ship.
that
It
yeah
would
that
just get. You know what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
happens on most of the videos I've seen. So it's just the ship getting smaller and smaller, and as the ship gets smaller and smaller, you're still going to be able to see the top of the ship as far as it goes out.
No, but if you should see more than the top of the ship. You should see the entire ship. You should see the entire ship if it was flat.
How?
It's because it's just going away from you. It's just getting smaller and smaller. It shouldn't. None of the ships should disappear, on if it was if it was no curvature.
So I shouldn't still see the highest point if it's going further away from my eyesight.
You should see the whole thing. You should see the entire ship. You should see the
O-
entire ship the same way.
Okay,
Whatever you see at the top, you should see it. If it was
okay.
flat,
I got you. I got you. I see what you're saying, but let me give you my perspective because I get exactly what you're saying. If you have a car driving on a flat plateau and it's going further and further away from your vision, that car is going to get smaller and smaller, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
As that
But the
car
thing
gets
is
smaller,
that
hold on.
remember we're on Earth. It's a curvature.
Hold on. I'm saying no curvature. So you look from my perspective. That's what I asked for from the jump.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, okay.
So no curvature. It's still going to get smaller and smaller, right?
Yeah,
And you're saying, but you're gonna see the whole thing.
yeah.
So if it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, but you see the whole thing as it's going away from your vision, if something is hovering above the car, would you still be able to see what's hovering above it longer than you see the car?
I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I'm telling you yes
I never
because
thought about that.
yeah, and I'm telling you yes because that's how levelness works. So
Yeah, but you should also see the
as
car.
you no,
Yes.
not if think about how your vision is working because at the rate of what you're saying would be the equivalent to say, oh well, I shouldn't be able to see anything that's out that far anymore. You see what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I know, but from the perspective of the opposite argument, that would have to be the case. But the fact that
No,
if
that's
there's
not
an
the case. That's not factual. I want to argue from a factual view.
okay, so all right, so from a factual point of view, let's just this is an even better example. Let's just say there's a car floating above another car, directly parallel and perpendicular. As that as those two cars begin to go out and get further and further away from your vision, you're going to see just the way that your vision works on a level field. You're going to see the top card longer than you see the bottom card. As it gets further and further away, you're still going to see the one that's more so in the horizon than what's on the ground or what's on sea level. Because in a sense, I don't know how many times you've been on the ocean or to the beach or anything like that. But when you look out, you literally can look out as far as you want until you can't see no more. And if you've been on the beach with other people, then you have the possibility. I don't know if you have, but I was on the beach as a kid a lot as well. You would try and see who could see the furthest. And some people could literally see just a little bit further than others, to where how can you just say there's curvature versus how sight would work period on a level plane or plateau, which is you're going to see the broad aspect more than a small object. So with seeing a broad aspect, you're always going to be able to see the horizon and the whole ground. But as the object moves further, if something is still in the horizon hovering over the object, you'll still be able to see it. Because stars are farther than cars, but you can see them. One ain't gonna say you can still see them because of the size. They gonna say you can still see them because of the distance.
I wouldn't. That's a poor. I wouldn't compare a star to the car, and when Number one, it's straight up in the sky. You know what I'm saying? And it's bright. It's a bright light. You know what I mean? So that's a little different. But I would say
Yeah,
that
that's the point that I
your
was making. You're
your
not
your
gonna
your
you're not
your,
gonna give
your,
the
your
credit to the size. You're gonna get a credit to the look of the object and the fact
but
that it's straight out into the horizon.
but as far as your analogy, I don't even know if it's accurate or true or backed by any science or anything. I think it's just your theory. You know what I mean?
Okay, well let's just put it
But
like this:
but
when you see a plane in the sky, how far is that
but
plane?
we're not. But the sky. Okay, when you see a plane in the sky, I can see the whole plane, no matter how far it is away.
Right. So if you were on a level ocean, and
It's not like
would you be
like
able to see something that's 35,000 feet out on the ocean with your naked eye?
I don't think so. 35,000 feet. That's over 2 miles. I think the human vision is
So
about 2 miles max, right?
so that's the point that I'm trying to make. Just because you can't see it anymore doesn't mean that it's not still there. So what you
Of
can't see
course.
with your
I mean,
naked eye, hold on.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, so if it goes away to your naked eye, that don't mean that it went over the curvature. That means it went outside of your eyesight. That's the whole point I've been trying to make.
No, but the thing is that you can tell that it's going over the curve, even when you zoom in with cameras, because the bottom of the
You
ship,
gotta listen to
and
what you're
also,
saying, though.
also, you know what I mean, how it disappears. When you see it disappear, it like for instance, when a plane flies away from you, right? It gets smaller and smaller and smaller, but you can still see the whole plane. And you know what I'm saying? You can still see the whole plane. It disappears all at the same time. You
All
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
It
So
gets out of your visit. Hold on. It gets out of your sight of vision all at the same time. Whereas a boat going out in the ocean, right? It doesn't get it looks like it's sinking. It's disappearing from the bottom up. Like the hull disappears first, and then the top, and
no,
then everything else, and
that's yeah.
then you can
So
go, then you
that's
can
an
go.
illusion, though. That's an illusion. That's why I'm giving you.
That's an observation.
No,
I mean,
I'm talking about what you're saying. It's an illusion that the boat is sinking because the boat is not really
No,
sinking.
no, I'm saying it looks like I never said it was sinking. I said it looks like it's a sinking.
I
Yeah,
know. That's
yeah.
why I said that's an illusion. The fact that it
But
looks
what I'm
like
saying
that
is
and that's not really
it
happening,
disappears
that's
from
an
the
illusion,
bottom up.
right?
But it does that because of the curvature of the earth.
Right.
It
But
does
when
that because of the curvature of the earth.
right.
That's why
But
it does that.
if you say it looks like it's sinking and it's not really sinking, that's an illusion, right?
I was just saying that for a comparison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. That's the clarity that I'm drawing. I was just saying that what you said is an illusion. It's not really happening.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So according to that illusion, that's what I was describing to you what's actually happening. Not the illusion part of it, not the fact that it looks like it's sinking. I was describing what's actually happening. So what's actually happening is you have something called a horizon. So you can see the sky, and when you look out over the ocean, it looks like the sky is directly over the ocean. But that's not the case. So when you look out, you are going to see the point of the boat that's still in the horizon. You're not going to see the point of the boat that's still on the ocean. That's why I gave you the illustration of even if you sit something on a flat plateau and take it out, you're going to see what's in the horizon longer than you're seeing what's on the ground or what's on the road. Even if it's smaller, just off the strength of it being in the horizon. So it's going to be way more clear. That's why you can look up and see a plane that's way further than when you'll stop seeing something that's out on sea level.
So do we have
We getting closer to a topic yet? It sounds like you want to take the negative on is the Earth round, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I definitely would take the negative in it. I don't know how much how much of a debate we gonna have versus just
So
throwing
you,
out information, but I think that'll be some good content as well, even if we just
I
uh
like that.
you know
I haven't seen it in reverse where you're trying to prove it's not round. Mostly, usually they're trying to prove it's flat.
hmm
How you feel about that one, King David?
I love it, man.
You ready?
Yeah.
You heard that, folks. We have a title. Let me go ahead and drop a bomb on that one. I don't know. My sound effects playing crazy. Did y'all hear that?
uh no, I didn't hear any sound effects. It might not be working because you got the song playing.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
I said your sound effects might not be working because you got the song playing.
Oh, what? The song's playing?
Or you might not be able to hear them because
Oh,
I don't know.
stop.
I know I hear a song playing.
My apologies.
No, it's all good. It was good background music to me. But very, very, very respectable opponent, chat.
Okay, is there still a song playing now?
No, I don't hear the song anymore.
Okay, so we're locked in on is the Earth round? King David is taking the affirmative. Emmanuel will be taking the negative on this. Um, yeah, it's a debate. Can we get a date and time locked in?
You
I
want to
Give
think
do
you
two
guys
weeks
at
is
least a
standard,
week,
man.
you know?
you want
Okay.
to take
What
2 weeks?
you want to do? I say 2 weeks is standard just to give people real lifetime along with bounding up instruction time. Uh, I don't mind meeting halfway for the sake of it. We can do
I,
one
I'm
week.
down. I'm down with two
I mean,
weeks,
you can do
man.
1 week, 2 weeks.
I'm
I just
down with
wanted
two
you
weeks,
guys
man.
to at
I got a
least have a
busy
little bit
life,
of time
man.
to get your presentations together. I didn't
Yeah,
want this to be
Yeah.
something for tomorrow.
that's what I was saying too, King David, and mine just got a little bit busier as of today. But I definitely, like I say, I'll be able to bound up good
2 weeks.
instruction in between living my day to day life and making this money. I'll be able to, for sure, give some good content within 2 weeks.
Okay, so 2 weeks is the
One
14th.
thing I appreciate, though, man, I just want to say this too, man. I appreciate the respectfulness that we had, man. It wasn't all a whole bunch of cussing and fussing and arguing and calling each other the nigga with the hard A.
Yeah, nah, man. I'm about to be
Yeah, man.
I'm the next revolutionist, man. I'm about to make some of the wildest niggas in the community have some decorum, man. It's time to come together through the differences and still be able to talk like men. Shit.
Yeah,
And say, okay, yeah, I don't believe what you believe, but let's go to work together and get this money tomorrow.
exactly.
So it's all good, man. We enforcing decorum over here in the Coliseum of arguments, man. We changing lives. And 2 weeks, man, a very respectable opponent, man. I can't say anything negative about the fella other than I'm taking the negative on his position. So
Yes, sir, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. A1, you got something going on here, man. Positive things are coming, brother. I see positive things with this, man.
for sure. A1 had went back into the matrix. His phone was
Yeah,
possibly getting ready to die.
yeah.
Um
But I appreciate him having me on here. I'm looking forward to our discourse in 2 weeks. Man, bring your A game, brother.
for sure,
I'm
for sure.
I'm, I'm coming ready to learn something.
Hey, I'm coming ready to learn something too, bad. Look, I was already about to say that. Like hey, I could come spit my knowledge all day, but I'm gonna be coming to learn as well. So that's my understanding of what debates were initially about. trading philosophies with an affirmative and a negative, and
Yeah.
equal light should be shedded on both. So I somebody should be able to learn just as much about the earth being round as they should, of perspectives of challenging their own theories. You know what I'm saying? So, because like I say, that's what I had to do. I wasn't born and taught in school that the earth wasn't round, so I had to challenge my own theories or challenge theories that was given to me anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, I hate to do it on the same link, man, but uh well, yeah, I'm gonna change links, man. I'm gonna change links because some different people might come up. I'm finna holler at the back chat and see if some people still woke, man. I might be getting ready to do my show, Add Your 2 cents, where we just have people come on the show, man, and talk shit, swallow spit, see who agrees with your perspectives, who disagrees, but it's enforced decorum.
Yep.
Debates get set up, discussions get set up, etc. So just somewhere to, like I say, not know that you can come there and it ain't gonna be no rah rah or say, man, I feel like giving a presentation, man. I'm finna go to the Coliseum of Arguments, and if somebody got something to say about it, they can say something. But you always got a platform. Like I say, even if you got an actual show idea, I know A1 is taking ideas, so we're trying to make the channel pop, man.
All right. Definitely got a couple of ideas for shows, man.
But that's a bet,
All right,
man. That's
bro.
a bet. I'm gonna play this commercial, man, and I'm gonna say peace and blessings to the chat, man. Peace and blessings to the chat.
All right, brother. You have a blessed one, man.
All right, man. Shalom.
App isn't just a donation, it's an investment in truth, in dialogue, and in community. Every dollar helps us bring sharper debates, stronger guests, and bigger opportunities for growth. And here's the best part: when you give, you're not just supporting us, you're standing tall as part of the Titan family. We see you, we value you, and we appreciate you. So if you've ever felt inspired, challenged, or entertained by what we do, show some love and send your support to $Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Again, that's $Titans Debate League at Cash App today. Together, let's keep this debate alive, keep the fire burning, and keep the Titans rising. Have a blessed day. Ground. Open panels, real voices, the questions that keep you awake at night, the issues that shape our world. Everyone has a chance to rise, to be heard, to see if their information will reign supreme. Will you watch from the sidelines, or will you step into the arena? Subscribe now at Titans Debate League.